name is Rat Parataya, and today I will be talking about the MARC commuter rail system. MARC commuter rail was opened in 1984 and has been operating ever since. It is managed by the MDOT, MTA, Amtrak, and community members. It has 42 stations across three lines that connect Maryland, DC, and even West Virginia. The Penn Line is the fastest and busiest, running between DC and Baltimore, and it shares tracks with Amtrak. The Camden Line follows a different route from Baltimore to DC, which passes through College Park. The Brunswick Line stretches into West Virginia, which makes it useful for people who are commuting from west. When I first rode MARC, I started commuting to UMBC last semester. I took the Penn Line from New Carrollton to BWI, which cost me $7. This is a lot cheaper compared to driving. Some benefits that I found were that there were clear signage on the train, and if you had trouble finding where to go, there was always a conductor. There were also bathrooms on board, which made it useful for longer rides. For cyclists, they also had bike racks, so they could bring their bikes on the train. The seats were coach style, which were very comfortable and spacious. A few fields that helped contribute to the design of the MARC train were transportation engineers and urban planners. They helped decide where stations would go based on how much people would commute from those areas. Some main areas are Odenton Stop, which most people get on and get off from, and the second field that played a role was civil and mechanical engineers, and they help design the tracks and trains and platforms to make sure they're safe and efficient. Software and UI designers worked on the ticketing app and the transit app, which made it easier for people to buy tickets and check schedules. The complexity factors that I found were political and economic. Politically, MARC is state funded, so if the budget gets cut, service could be affected. Since Amtrak also owns the Penn Line tracks, MARC has to schedule its trains around Amtrak's. Sometimes, when Amtrak is also heading to the same stop as MARC, it gets the first priority since it owns all the tracks. Economically, MARC is cheaper than driving. It helps commuters save on money. It also helps support the local workforce, which makes it easier for people to get jobs in DC and Maryland. Some suggestions that I have for MARC Train are that they need to increase their off-peak hour service. Last semester, when I was commuting, they didn't have trains that ran from 12 to 1, 12 to 3, which affected the way how I what time I would come home. Because sometimes I would have to stay at campus until 3, even though my classes ended at 11. Another thing to do is to have better updates on where the train is. Even though they have the transit app right now, it doesn't help with updating the train when there's delays or when Amtrak gets to the station before the MARC train does. And this sometimes causes confusion because the announcer at the station corrects them. Another suggestion that I have is to give better student discounts. Currently, they have a $30 discount where you get a card and you get $1 discount off a ticket. And this is not much helpful because the $30 is for a membership card for like multiple different fast food restaurants, but it won't be like mainly used for students who are trying to save money. Another thing is to give better information on what doors open on small stations. For New Carrollton, for example, they have a small station which only the first three cars, the doors open. So if you're sitting in the back of the train, you can't get off the station. So you have to come all the way to the front to get off. Thank you.